my skill set, if you're talking about my ring IQ and what I display in the ring, I feel like I am the best in the world. I feel like with Usyk, I feel like I've got a better skill set than him.
As promised, we have a Moses Itauma film study. Here we go. This is Moses Itauma fighting his sparring partner. Itauma lunges in a little bit there, and Wach lets him off the hook. Itauma starts bouncing around. Uh-oh, he stands too close. Does that jab look extended to you? Wach times Itauma's poor footwork while in range. And once again, doesn't extend that. So what the teacher, and he schooled him in this fight, okay? What the teacher is showing the young student, he's showing him not to stand so damn close. And then Itauma crosses his feet in front of him. And before he could get back into his boxing stance, the savvy vet that he is, Mariusz Wach measures him with the jab and throws a knockout right hand, probably in front of his face. But you see how quickly he got his number. Itauma standing too close. Too close. Itauma has issues reading range, and he doesn't control the space between he and his opponent. But Wach, the good teacher that he is, just taught him to change levels, right? It took a few jabs and a knockout right hand. Look, I call these punches knockout punches because that's the type of situation where you could potentially get knocked out. So Itauma changes levels. Wach looks like he's ready. Itauma moves his front foot, crosses it in front of his body, and Wach lets him off the hook. So here Wach is still looking to dominate lead hand position, right? But because he does, and he knows how to use it, notice the crooked elbow, right? Lets him off the hook, but cracks him a little bit. Now, if you were to crack him with good power and commit to that punch, it's a lot less likely that Itauma can counter. A little bit of control by Wach, a little bit late, but that allows him not to get hit with that. Now, the teacher is showing the student that just because you change levels, that doesn't mean you're safe. You still gotta feint, keep one of your hands up, just don't be wide open, right? Itauma's dropping both of his hands as he changes levels. Wach cracks him a little bit, but then instead of dropping the right hand, he lets him off the hook. If this is Tyson Fury fighting for real, he goes papa and knocks him out. Wach doesn't extend the jab, but once again, he's timing. This time it's Itauma's foot feint. He likes to stomp the canvas with the front foot and then do something. And multiple fighters now have gotten a beat on that right away. Doesn't punish him for it, doesn't extend, but shows him you gotta find a better way in, son. Once again, as he's stepping, Wach shows you that he can, but he doesn't take advantage of it. He pulls that punch instead of cracking them. Now, if you were in there to win, and maybe also needs to be fast enough, he could throw a right hand right now. Pull that back and go drop, knock him out. But even slow as Wach shows Itauma, come on, man. You gotta defend yourself at all times. Itauma puts a lot of weight on the front foot. Wach times it, and Itauma leans into punches. Itauma drops a hard foot feint or just steps into range, backs out. Next time he steps a little slower. He has to change levels because Wach is now timing it, and he's not extending his punches either. So once again, in this situation, a good fighter would drop the right hand, standing too close, takes a jab. Itauma doesn't really disguise his forward movement with anything. He dips, so you know he's going to spring in there, right? And Wach is able to avoid that for the most part. So now he's totally reading Itauma's movements. It's pretty easy, it's pretty predictable. Controls him with the jab. If he hits him hard, the counter doesn't come, right? Or he could just throw the right hand. So Itauma changes up his rhythm a little bit, and that's cool, right? He steps with the front foot, and then immediately stutter steps in and throws a jab. Drops his hand in front of his opponent, but he is changing levels, but he still gets hit, right? No extension on that punch. Definitely no 1-2. Did Wach throw 1-1-2 in this fight? Itauma walks into a jab, no extension. If you're committing, meaning you're stepping into your punch, fucking commit to it. If you're already exposing yourself, at the very least, make sure your offense is on point, because if it isn't, then you're just going to get countered. Itauma hits him a little bit, and then starts bouncing around, admiring his work, chin up in the air, hands down, and boop. Now Itauma is trying to conceal his forward step with that little pawing jab, which is why you drop the right hand right now and knock him out. Itauma can't do these foot feints anymore because Wach is keen to it. So now he just steps in. You see how he's got the beat on Itauma. Took away that foot feint from him. So now Itauma is just stepping in without feinting. Look at Wach. He sees all of it, right? He's changing levels too. Boom. Drop the right hand. Where's the 1-2? You got him timed with your jab, man. When are you going to throw the 2? He doesn't, but look at how he controls. This is dirty, obviously, but protect yourself at all times. It was very worrying seeing how long Itauma stood there and allowed Wach to control him, right? So Itauma steps with the front foot, crosses it in front of himself. Now he has to step back into position, and just as he sets, Wach times Itauma's poor footwork. If he commits to that jab, he can avoid that counter. Didn't commit, and that's why he got cracked. Now Wach is giving up lead hand control. It just stands there. If you give up lead hand control and keep your lead hand down at all times, well, you're gonna get hit up top, right? Why is he punching down at his body? I mean, come on, man. What's the point of this punch even? Now Wach is acting like these punches are something amazing. He's so scared when he's totally got the beat on his opponent and can break up his rhythm anytime he wants to. Itauma's changing levels. Wach, who showed you could change levels with him and you could time that level change, doesn't even attempt to control him. He wants to go home early. Just sits there, hands down, boom, right hand. No, he's ready to go home. What? Itauma throws some suspect probes out there. There's one. Then he throws another. Same speed, on rhythm, no setup. He's got the timing of Itauma's probe. Itauma's bouncing around like an amateur. Be careful when doing that in front of especially a much bigger guy. Oof. He just leans in, chin up in the air over the front foot, and has to recover his stance. Wach just lets him off the hook, and then he throws once Itauma's recovered. Could he have extended that more? Maybe not. Because of, even though Wach is slower, so long as he extends and commits, he's gonna stop Itauma in his tracks. Wach doesn't take any damage. I don't know what that was, but someone like Tyson Fury will blind you with this and then throw the 2. Itauma changes levels again, but he's in range. Wach puts a stop to it. Look how deep in Wach is. You telling me he can't hit him? And then he just lets Itauma just run the red light. After he took the feint away and showed you that he could time him on the way in, he's got Itauma's rhythm down. Itauma's in punching range with his hands down. First he gives him a warning shot, and then he doesn't commit to that either. Now Itauma wants to bring back these hard foot feints or dips, whatever they're called. It's a little bit different now, I guess, but it's easy to see. Wach is just too savvy. He sees it every single time. You see Wach just totally gave up battling for lead hand position. He's submitting. What did you think was going to happen? Also, we could pretend like that jab was aimed at Itauma. He's got the beat on this dude. He's got his rhythm down pat. Doesn't extend, which is why he gets hit. Controls Itauma's jab, or at least tries to, because it's easy to see. It's not set up by anything. Put that lead hand in his face and stop him in his tracks, right? Itauma stands in punching range, and Wach doesn't extend. Itauma's still standing in punching range. Now he puts more weight on the back foot, but then he steps into punching range. A little too slow there. Totally got his rhythm down. He's got his distance down. He's taking him to school. He sees everything coming. Itauma really can't surprise this guy much. He has to give him free shots. Not battling for lead hand dominance, just totally submitting. Lets Itauma step into range without punishing him for it. See how Wach changes levels with Itauma, and then Itauma pops up. We could pretend that was extended. You see the crook in the elbow. Hits him with the jab, high on the forehead. Drop the 2. Controls him. Right when he's bringing him in right there. Why couldn't he throw the right hand? That Itauma dip is predictable. It's It's easy to see it's not set up by anything. Shows him the jab and doesn't extend the right hand. So he finally throws the 1-2. And notice Itauma just going straight back, just submitting. But Itauma does, a good little thing there. He goes high, then dips. Just as Wach is standing himself up, he goes low. So kudos, good job. Lands to the body. Wach is still got the timing down, right? But he's throwing next to him. There's no control, and Itauma is able to counter him. See, even that weak as control stops him in his tracks. It looks like he's just giving him free shots now. Just leaning in, face over the front knee, making it easier for him, right? He sees it coming. He's not quick enough to get out of there. And Itauma follows up. That's pretty good. See how Itauma's there for the left hook? Itauma changes levels, and Wach just cowers now, I guess. He could be dropping something from the guard like he is there, right? But drop it straight. It really just grabs him behind the head. He's able to land an uppercut. He could hit him with that hand too. He's wide open there. When you're up this close, and especially if you're closing the distance, if you have the bunny ear defense, you're open straight down the middle. Wach puts his glove between he and his opponent, which allows him to create space, control the opponent, push him off. And you just saw how Wach was able to hit Itauma with an uppercut. If he were trying for real, man, he could have really hurt him there. And Itauma stands in punching range. He slips that, fair enough, but I mean, was it really aimed at him? He gets it bang on the chin and comes right back with his right hand, right? Except instead of throwing it to the head, which is exposed, he throws it somewhere to the body. Itauma does that dip again, telegraphs his punches basically. Wach sees it, doesn't extend his counter jab, which means he's probably going to get hit again. What about a 1-2, right? Itauma's standing in range, right? If Itauma could do this and hit you, then obviously he's in your punching range. So why aren't you punching like that? Once again, Itauma, it's easy to see what he's doing, and he gets himself wide open when he does these things. Look at that. Why couldn't Wach drop the right hand, right? But he sees everything that's coming. Why won't he drop the right hand? From here on out, Itauma's there for it, right? You see Wach's right hand? Ooh, cocks it a little bit, shows it to him, and Itauma gets out of there. Good teacher, this guy. A couple of probes, and there goes the 2. Even though he's totally over the front foot, he's not really looking to establish lead hand dominance. Doesn't extend that right hand. Slow Wach. If he really tries and extends and times a little bit better, he could hit him with the 1-2. Just lets him do that, get away with it while the dude is in punching range, and then throws some BS probe, right? Wide open. Wach, his right hand is cocked. He could just drop that right hand, right? Too slow to slip a slow jab from a guy that's not extending it. And then just drops it to his waist, which means he's going to get countered. Just backs himself into a corner. These dip feints, it's so predictable he could time it, right? Jab. No, he's scared. Ooh, he's so scared. Right hand knockout, right? We've seen Wach timing when Itauma stands himself up, timing him when he dips down, and definitely timing his bullshit probe jab. Jumps up in the air, punches up, and he's not even really able to touch Wach, but just barely. That means Wach could knock him out with the right hand now. And Itauma's out of position, right? But he shuffles his feet, gets back into position, and does it again. Same rhythm, same speed, same mistake, except now he's a little bit closer, so knock him out with the right hand. No, he just looks at him, backs himself into the corner, and then Itauma does it again. Except this time he's really lunging in. So knock him out with the right hand. No. And then he does it even more egregiously. So knock him out with the right hand. You showed us that you could time this shit. He does it 4 times in a row right in front of you. And you just let him off the hook. And then we had the Mike bubblegum fight where Itauma showed some improvement. You see Itauma feigning, probing high, and then feigning low with that hard foot feint, and then mixing it up a little bit. switching up the order and jabbing to the body, but also almost getting hit. He is in control of the situation, I guess, or he initiates stuff, but then somehow ends up going into a 50-50 exchange. Except Bubblegum is maybe parrying his jab, and Itauma's wide open for Bubblegum's right hand jab. Bubblegum times Itauma's movements. These guys are timing him right away. He's kind of predictable. Itauma throws that hard foot feint, and Mike respects it, and then he jumps in with a punch, and once again finds himself in a 50-50 exchange. Looks to me like Mike has got a beat on that go high and then go low type thing. He seems to parry that away. Itauma gets back to go high, go low. Ooh, except now he's showing him that he wants to throw the right hook. So he's changing it up. Mike is adjusting too. But if they were in range, Itauma probably had the upper hand there. And then he times Itauma's step straight in and throws a knockout blow. Itauma catches Mike bouncing, but somehow Mike can see it. I guess it's just predictable the way he moves. Itauma finds himself once again in a more or less 50-50 exchange with the bum. Now it looks to me like Mike is reading those probes, feints, times it, jumps in with a couple of jabs that miss, but pushes him back. Now he's timing Mike, that is. Itauma's, the way he plants his front foot and dips, right? He's seeing it now. He knows that this is how Itauma telegraphs his movements, right? He gets some jumping up in the air, out of position, and times that bounce again. So Itauma changes it up a little bit, which is good. Or he goes back to hard foot feint and then up jab. He does that foot feint again, dip, whatever that is. But Mike sees it now, right? You can see it all coming, and he's not there for it. You gotta switch it up, Itauma. Third time in a row, and Mike is just about ready to hit him. Oh wait, he does. To the chest, and avoids the counter. Times his rhythm again, and it looks like they exchange jabs. And again, right? Except this time, Mike is parrying the jab, looking to land his own. But technically, Mike Bubblegum is better, right? When it comes to boxing technique. Times Itauma again on the way in, but gets hit. Now, what saves Itauma in these situations is that he's so much faster, and he has better punch technique, and he's just quicker and more explosive than these guys, right? So even though they can see it and react to it, they're just not fast enough. Looks like he hurts Mike a little bit there, but he gets a little excited. Maybe Mike's playing possum, right? So he gets excited, jumps on them, and almost gets knocked out. And then he jumps in again. And see how he freezes there, Itauma? He throws a huge overhand left. Itauma's sleeping. Now Itauma, who says he's better technically than Usyk, takes one of Usyk's moves. Feints high, feints low. Mike respects it. And then Mike times Itauma's bounce. And I don't know what the hell he's throwing that at, but Mike is timing Itauma's bounce and moves. But now Itauma times that little loop that Mike does with his lead hand, right? And cracks him with a good left hand. But again, he gets super excited because they told him that he's got monster power and all this stuff. I don't think he does. And Mike walks him into a knockout blow. While Itauma's hands are down, chin is up in the air. Except Mike doesn't have good punch technique. And the same kind of punch from Itauma. So to me, Itauma looks like just a strong dude. A guy that hits hard. He's fast, explosive. So even though he's in 50-50 exchanges with the bum, he gets the desired effect because the other guy's just not cut from that cloth. But Mike is fine. Maybe he was a little stunned. He's fine there. He gets up, times Itauma's pretty predictable rhythm. Maybe he clipped the chin there a little. Yeah, it looks like he did. Clips the chin a little bit. And Itauma's feet do some funny things. Does that hard feint again, and Mike's just got the timing of it. And he jumps in with the jab, and still finds himself in a 50-50. Now Mike runs in because he noticed that Itauma goes back in straight lines. and is able to push him back with inaccurate jabs. Itauma dips into a knockout left hand. Boom. See that? Very dangerous situation. But Mike's punch technique is garbage. Looks like Itauma's trying to hypnotize him with that lead hand, doing what Usyk does, right? Feints him low, brings him back around. You do the same thing too many times in a row, even the bum's gonna see it. Ooh. Oh man. After having a little bit of success there and noticing that Itauma goes straight back, goes for the chest, follows up with the left hand that misses, shifts into orthodox, and cracks him with a pretty good right hand, right as Itauma goes straight back. And Itauma looks a little bit unsteady there and just waits out the rest of the round, holding.
Trouble. He just looked down at the timekeeper there, Moses Itauma, waiting for the bell to ring.
Itauma feints low. Mike is able to see that, and he's protecting himself now in case the left hand should go upstairs, looking to parry the jab to the body. And then Itauma goes to do it again, and Mike jumps in with the hook. He starts punching first, right, Mike? But Itauma's just quicker. His punches aren't as wide. He's faster. But look at when he throws this left hook, his hand drifts away from his face and gets cracked. He gets cracked first, but Mike misses, doesn't have good punch technique. And even though it snaps Itauma's head back because Itauma's punching with the knuckles, the effect is much better. But he's in a 50-50 exchange with the bum. He gets away with it because he's very fast, he's got good punch technique, he's strong, and he's got good reaction time also. But Mike is reading him, showing you that he can hang with this guy technically if you take punching technique out of the equation. Mike actually showed better technical adjustments and was taking better advantage of Itauma's flaws than the other way around. It's just that Itauma's, again, quicker and he punches better. Moses Itauma is right now getting by on athleticism and punching power, quickness, strength, but unless he sharpens up his technique, learns ring craft, and just adds variety to his game, if he finds himself in a 50-50 situation with someone who's got similar athleticism or is taller, maybe just as good as him, he could just as well get knocked out. Or if he's in there with someone who's technically better than him, but also has some other advantages maybe, he could just get outboxed and knocked out too.
You know, it's one of them. You know, obviously I've just got to thank Canelo and his team for giving me this opportunity, all of his team, including Eddie Hearn. You know, because it's one of them. I feel privileged to be taking part in this. Obviously, I'm not going to win. I'm just going to go there and pick my money up and go home. You know, that's all I'm there for. Grab me cash, go off home, sail off to the sunset, you know. It's one of them.